This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Yeah, it's time to empower, educate, and encourage your women to motivate you through whatever you've been going through. We can talk about it. We ain't passing no judgment. So don't be ashamed. It's all the same. Stay in your lane. Your lane. It's whatever your real life looks like. Stay in your lane. Come out the dark and don't be ashamed. Your lane. Let's have a conversation on what we face every day. Tune into your lane talk show. It makes us feel good just to know we're not alone. No more will we feel isolated and cast aside. I want you to come out the dark. Just don't be afraid of your heart. So don't be ashamed. It's all the same. Stay in your lane. Your lane. It's whatever your real life looks like. Stay in your lane. Come out the dark and don't be ashamed. Your lane. Let's have a conversation on what we face every day. It's your lane talk show with Coach Trish, Hanna.
Hello, and welcome. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Your Lane Talk Show with your coach, Trish, Hanna. We are broadcasting live in Nassau, Bahamas, right here on the Guardian Radio 96.9 FM dial. It is so good to be in your company on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. All right, we're still in the powerful month of March, celebrating International Women's Month. This is the time where we honor the strength, the resilience, the wisdom, and the faith of women of all ages who are boldly walking in their God-given purpose and assignment. Now, here on Your Lane Talk Show, as you know, I've been saying this every Sunday. I got to put it in your noggin. Our mission is simple but powerful, which is we're here to educate, empower, and encourage women of all ages, and that's in spirit, soul, and body. Heavy emphasis on the body, all right? Yes, we are faith-based, but we are also real, we're relevant, and relatable. We talk about the things that don't always make it on a Sunday morning. You won't be able to hear that in the Sunday message when the pastor preaching and stuff like that. And there are some times that you may not be able to ask a question, right? When the pastor preaching and saying stuff. But let me remind you, this is just a show where you can not only listen to, but you can interact with. This is a conversation you can be a part of. Always conversations where you could be a part of. You can call in, you can text, you can comment live and engage with us and our guests. Because what we're doing here is bigger than radio. We are taking these conversations out of the four walls and into media, using this platform once again to educate, to inspire, to impact lives, not just across the Bahamas, but wherever you are listening from today. And we do have some international people that tune in, so thank you so much for tuning in to Your Lane Talk Show. I want to salute, as I've always been doing, our male listeners that tune into the show as well. God bless you. May God continue to bless you. Yeah, you could come and I don't know if our guest brought any giveaways today, but you could still call in and get your little giveaways whenever we do have giveaways on the show. Okay, last week's episode was 166, The Silent Load, the Mental Weight Women Carry. We had Dr. Deandra Smith. She is a psychologist. She's a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur. She shared her truth and she kept it real. All right. Listen, we spoke about what it means to be strong for everyone else and then leaving yourself. We spoke about trying to hold the family together. We spoke about having to encourage one another, praying for one another, supporting others, while there are some people out there who are quietly carrying their own mental and emotional load. We spoke about what it meant to, dissect yourself from the world, like literally remove yourself from everything and just be still sometimes. Or sometimes as women, we just keep on going, right? And we're pouring. But what happens when we've already poured it all out and there's nothing left? That was a Selah moment, by the way. So that is your encouragement for today on this beautiful Sunday, March 22nd, to take some time to rest and take care of yourself. It's okay. No, it's not selfish. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. Just find if it's just 1 hour, if you need to go on the beach, if you need to just go in the back of your yard, get some cool breeze. We got some cool breeze blowing. If it means having to go and get a facial, get a massage, just go for a walk on the park, whatever it is that you need to do to try to get yourself back in line for the remainder of this week, go ahead and do just that. All right. But today, I want to remind you that even strong women need to rest. I want to continue to remind you of that. But most importantly, today's conversation is one where women, I don't even know how to word this properly. Women experience some things. We experience a lot of things, right? And hair loss is something that we experience, but we don't necessarily talk about it as much. And I believe that we don't talk about it is basically because of embarrassment. Of course, we have some people, some professionals here that will, give more insight in reference to that. But today's conversation is one that many women are experiencing. But it's something where they would probably enclose it to their doctors, the general practitioner. They may say it to their gynecologist or whatever have you, but you won't really hear much of it on social media. You won't really see much of it posting all about the place. And for the ones that do it, those are the ones who are more, they're liberated, they're free. They're like, you know what? I don't care what nobody say but me. This is my truth. This is who I am. I taken everything off, and this does not define me. And I love those women. I love that. I ain't there yet, but we'll talk about that another time. All right. So today's topic is hair loss, what your body might be trying to tell you. Now, let's be honest. We have experienced hair loss, thinning edges. We talk about it all the time. Bunch of thinning edges because of various reasons. Excessive shedding. Most of us immediately look for products, styles, or some type of quick fix. But what if the hair loss is just external? Is not just external. Maybe it's an inward thing. Maybe it's something that we're not doing. Maybe it's something to do with our hormones. Maybe it's genetic. I doing some Selah moments, right? Because I want y'all to think about it. Because we always say, oh, I try to get this oil, but the oil ain't working. I try to get these edge products that say they can help you thicken the edge, but it's not working. And then we wonder why it's not. Could it be the diet? Could it be lack of water intake? As simple as that is. I can't wait for my guest to share, because we're talking about a holistic approach, looking at both the internal health of the body and the external health of the scalp and hair. All right. So if you know someone who may be going through some hair issues for whatever reason, it could be your auntie, it could be your cousin, it could be your neighbor, it could be your friend, your best friend, whomever it is now. I want you to share the page, or I want you to share the link and say, tune in, man. I need y'all to tune in, because we have some professionals here that will share and help. And that's what the show is all about. We're helping to build. We're helping to extend the knowledge so that you have no excuse to suffer. There's absolutely no excuse when you're listening and tuning into Your Lane Talk Show, because there's always professionals that are here to ensure that you get the knowledge that is needed to set you free. Your Lane with Coach Trish, Hanna, episode 167, Hair Loss, What Your Body Might Be Trying to Tell You, is brought to you by John's Shoe Store and Accessories, Tropical Gyros, Your Lane Life Coaching, the Children's Dream Journal. Of course, you can find that at All Seasons Book and Gift Center in Palmdale or on Amazon. We're also brought to you by Lysol, distributed by Thompson Trading, Del Monte, distributed by Thompson Trading, and 242 Media Connect. As a talk show host and media professional, I know how hard it could be to find the right guest, the right voice, and the right story. But at the same time, we have so many incredible Bahamians with powerful powerful, powerful stories and expertise who just need the right platform. So I created 242 Media Connect, a space where media meets message. This platform connects hosts, producers, and even event planners with speakers, professionals, and everyday people with impactful stories. It's about access, it's about visibility, and it's about building our media community right here in the Bahamas. So if you've got a voice or you're looking for one, this is for you. Head on over to Facebook and search 242 Media Connect and join the movement. Let's elevate the conversation together. All right. So there are lots of ways, once again, that you can tune in to us. We are on the Guardian 96.9 FM dial. We are also on Facebook, Your Lane with Coach Trish Hanna, or Your Lane Life Coaching, rather. We're on YouTube, Your Lane with Coach Trish Hanna. We're on channel 969 on cable and channel 612 on BTC Flow. Okay. You can also see us on www.guardiantalkradio.com. And of course, if you have the Guardian Radio app, we are there as well. Now, for those who may have questions you want to ask our guests, the number to call is 323-6232. Oh, the numbers, 323-6232. 325-4316 or 325-4259. And if you want to text anonymously, you can go ahead and do so at 42GR96. That's 422-4796. I'm ready to introduce my guests. All right, so we have two beautiful ladies today. I wonder if they're showing us. Producer, you can show their beautiful faces now. I'm ready to see them, and I'm sure y'all are ready to see them as well. This first guest is no stranger to Your Lane Talk Show, but for those who may not know who she is, I'm going to introduce her as if, y'all just hearing from her for the first time. Her name is Dr. Sharon Neely, a.k.a. Fabulous Ronnie. Hey, hey, hey. She is a dedicated hair restoration practitioner and the visionary founder of Fabulous Ronnie Hair Restoration Clinic, based in Nassau, Bahamas. I have you to know, I don't know why she only in Nassau, Bahamas. We'll talk about that another time. She is known for her transformative work in scalp health and hair loss restoration, helping men and women regain not only their hair, but their confidence and sense of self. With a deep passion for education and empowerment, Sharon specializes in identifying the root causes of hair loss and providing targeted, results-driven solutions. Her work focuses heavily on mature clients and individuals experiencing thinning, breakage, alopecia, and scalp disorders. Through personalized care, natural-based treatments, and consistent support, she has helped many clients experience visible growth and renewed confidence. Dr. Sharon's mission goes beyond beauty. She is committed to restoring crowns and rebuilding self-esteem one client at a time. She continues to use her voice and platform to educate the community about prevention, treatment options, and the importance of healthy scalp care. Also joining us today is Dr. Marcia Johnson Brown, a seasoned medical doctor with over 20 years of experience serving in both the public and private healthcare sectors here in the Bahamas. She is a wife, a mother of two, and currently serves as the medical director of the Wellbeing Center located on Gladstone Road, where she is committed to promoting overall health and wellness within the community. Welcome, 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 ladies. Welcome, docs, to Your Lane Talk Show. Gonna come up to the mic. I'm so happy that you are here to join us today. I hope you're as ready as I am, because we have a lot of questions. We have a lot of women tuning in, and they want to know what to do with their hair. So before I get into it, it's a personal question I want to ask. Have any of you ever experienced any deep medical issues, personal issues yourself before even trying to advance into how you would be able to help other people?
I have.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've experienced medical issues. Yeah, we're all human. We are here
challenges.
with all of our with challenges and all that we have to deal with on a daily basis. So yeah. The question is yes.
Dr. Sharon. Dr. Ronnie?
I would say yes as well. Like Dr. Brown said, of course, we're human. And so what makes it even hit home is we have experience it ourselves. And so we have a deep appreciation, full of empathy for what it is that we know we need to help, and we know what it is we need to do as well. So yes, definitely yes.
I love that. So where did the passion come from? About where's the passion? Where did it evolve from? You know, as far as you working and doing what you're doing, helping women and men. I'm gonna ask Dr. Ronnie first. Where did this all resonate from?
Again, I came up the ranks in the beauty industry. I started off as a braider, and then I elevated to a stylist, and then a cosmetologist, and of course through further studies became a trichologist. And so I was not able to help. I wasn't able to help. I saw so many different conditions, hair loss, and I was just basically one of those persons who was just putting a Band-Aid on it, just covering it up with style. And so it helped with the want and the need to do better, to see persons being transformed, being, making a difference. It came the realistic passion to want to see change, Trish.
I love that.
To want to see change.
I love that. I love the fact that you said you didn't want to be one that gets a Band-Aid and just stick it on there. Like I've seen, I have to be careful with words, but I've seen a lot of beauticians who would see a person having scalp issues. They would see the thinning edges, and then they would still, use products that would help break the hair or pull the hair, whatever tension. I've seen it happen. They say nothing. They would just use additional products and just add additional products on to what's already what we would deem unhealthy hair or unhealthy scalp. So thank you for that. Thank you for your love and your passion for helping other women and men, get their hair and restore their hair back to health. Dr. Marcia, what about you? Your passion for just helping, because I know you don't deal specifically with hair. You deal with general practice.
Not only with hair.
Not only with hair.
Not only with hair, but
So,
including it.
including hair.
Of course, because, there are men and women who come in. There's something going on in my hair and I don't know what to do.
Right.
And so just like Ronnie, when you have someone who comes to you and they say that, you feel that.
Yeah.
You feel that. And not only that, we experience it ourselves. I mean, I experienced hair thinning myself. And that's how I hooked up with Ronnie, right? I'm like, okay, something is going on here and I need help,
Yeah.
And sometimes you will have people saying, you're the doctor and you go into a doctor.
Listen, doctors need doctors. I'm a coach. I have a coach. I have mentors. Lawyers need lawyers. That's what we're here for.
Yes.
Right?
We are
build.
all
We're a community.
here to help.
Yeah.
I remember in orientation for internship, there was another doctor, a senior doctor, and he came and he said, why are you guys here? Why are you here? And we were all looking at each other like, what an odd question. What do you mean? And so I remember saying, well, I'm here because I want to help people.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's the answer I was looking for.
And it's so simple.
We're just here. It's just to help people.
Just to help
right?
people.
Yeah, as simple as
I
that.
love that. All right, so Dr. Ronnie, I want to ask you, first of all, what are some of the most common scalp and hair conditions you see in your practice?
Well, I would say the most common condition would be, of course, traction. And reason being, with it being traction, of course, because of sometimes poor styling choices. Sometimes when you don't know better, I guess persons just don't do better. In terms of, especially, I would want to highlight with the children. Like you have parents who innocently braid the children hair, and sometimes you'll see like the white ruchi that comes up, the little white. We call it the little white. The original name is ruchi, but you'd see the little white tiny bumps.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know better, and sometimes I just want to go and just pull, just the child hair to loosen it up a bit. But traction is a big deal, even in terms of the lace caps what women wear now, in terms of the tight
Using the
ponytail
glue
styles.
and all that.
Yeah, so traction would definitely be one of the conditions that I consistently see on a daily basis.
So how can someone tell if their hair loss is coming from the scalp versus something internal? So I don't know if I should ask this question to Dr. Marcia first, and then I'll ask you to follow up on that.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're not going to know. We're going to have to investigate. That's why a consultation is important. If you're having some issue, you're going to go to the doctor and you're going to say, look, this is the issue that I'm having. And then the doctor, whether it's Ronnie or myself or whomever, they need to do investigations to find out what's going on. Do a nice history, do your physical exam to find out some of the things that could be possibly causing why you're having the hair loss.
You want to follow up with that? Go
I
ahead.
totally agree with her. In order for no hair loss is basically no condition is the same. And to be thorough with what it is that we do, a consultation or assessment, a full thorough examination needs to be established before any conclusion can be executed. So I 100% agree with her.
As far as traction, let's go back to that. As far as traction is concerned, right? What are some of the styles, like the braids, the weaves, and that can be used to alleviate the traction? Because I do know about, they call it knotless braids. That's not as tampering or doesn't tamper too much with the scalp. What are some other styles that can be used to eliminate that traction?
The knotless is
For children and for adults.
The knotless is a good
Alternative.
styling. Yes, it is a good protective style. But keep in mind, some person, even if it is a good protective style, you may not be a candidate for it. And so we have some clients who, no matter, I could list about 4 or 5 different protective styles, what is considered protective styles. But if you are not a candidate for it, you're doing more damage. You're doing much more damage. And so again, I don't want to keep sounding like a Scotch record to run into an assessment, but it basically starts there. Once you know better, you tend to do better. But nevertheless, I would still say, wisdom is a principal key as well. If your hair is breaking, if you consistently braid it the exact same way, that's what try. It's almost like you walking across the street. I always give across the lawn. I love to give illustrations.
Yeah.
When you consistently keep walking across the lawn, what happens, Trish?
The weed normally, whatever that green grass was, it normally dies because you're on it and trampling over it time after time after time.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a track road.
Right.
They call it a track road.
Right.
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah.
They call it a track road. And so when persons do something on a consistent basis, ponytail, braid, pull, consistently, you create, that's what
That
traction
track.
basically,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so again, based on your question, moderation is key. Moderation is key. And again, just being educated of what you should and should not do is paramount.
Okay. So with traction, is it reversible?
Yeah, it is reversible. In some
Or does
cases,
it depend
it
on
all
the
depends,
scalp?
but I would say some conditions, yes. But hair loss is reversible. Hair loss is reversible, but again, you would have to know.
It can be.
It
can
can be. The word is can. That's a perfect thing. It can be, yes, reverse. I don't want to just stand on. It can be.
Depending on the degree.
Correct.
I love that. All right. So any of you can answer this question. Are there signs on the scalp? Are there signs on the scalp that people are ignoring that indicate damage or disease? I don't know if any one of you would be able to answer that. That you can actually look, maybe if someone's looking in the mirror, they loosen out their braids, and there may be something on their scalp that says, you know what, something's not right.
I would let Dr. Brown address the disease part to the extent of just, I guess, but I would say with the visibility, if your scalp is bleeding, if your scalp is producing an excessive amount of sebum, an overproduction of sebum.
I need you to break down, because you have some, I want to be in layman terms. So
In
what is
layman
a
terms,
sebum?
like what we call like the dandruff, the flakes. Some flakes can become yellow, like yellowish. Some dry, we call it friendly flakes. So if you have an over excessive, like you say in layman term, amount of flakes, again, that is a call of alarm. That's a cause of alarm. That's cause of alarm.
Yes, I totally agree. For me, tight braids. Tight braids. That's a major thing. As we come to the summer months, when parents have to deal with their girls, and they're trying to not be so preoccupied with styling their children's hair, we just see a whole lot of those bumps, those bumps that pop up on the kid's scalp, and the children complain, or you see them scratching, scratch. I don't know why this child's scratching and this and the next. But yeah, you do see signs on the scalp. Yes, you do. And I think one of the most common ones that we see is the bumps, the bumps that's caused from the tight braids. That's going to be coming up pretty soon. And I've seen it to the extent where the hair actually comes out of the scalp.
Right.
There is there is hair loss.
So how important is it then to take care of the scalp itself versus just focusing on the hair?
You gotta focus on both. They're both there. You have to focus on both. And yeah, if you're only focusing on the hair and you're neglecting the scalp, you're gonna lose your hair because that's where the root of the hair is.
People don't tend to. I've seen a lot of people that talk about dandruff as if it's not a big deal because they get it all the time. I remember when I was in college, there was a girl in the front of me in my class where you can see it. It's so thick. It's white. I'm sorry to gross y'all out for those who are tuning in. So thick with her braids. And she would just scratch it and just continue on. And I'm most certain she had those braids in for about a month.
Oh, wow.
A month or two, to be honest. Right? And her thing is, okay, I'll just put oil on top of it. Right? I'll just put the oil in it to stop or prevent it from itching. So let's talk about that. And how, for someone who may have excessive amount of dandruff and where it's so obvious, and then you're adding more product onto it, especially something like oil. Now, I don't know much, but I know when you have ample amount of products onto it, you may be clogging up the pores. So I'm going to let you talk more about that.
Well, I would love to address that. Any professional, knows definitely oil is not the solution. Oil, and let me repeat that, strong, oil is not the solution. But at the Hair Restoration Clinic, we offer a detox. We have a variety of detox services, whereas we target the scalp, we target the flakes in layman terms, we target, to bring it to full, recovery and control. But that is embarrassing as well. You have persons who just do not know what to do. You have persons who use the regular store-bought products and they try, and it's frustrating. It is tiresome when you just consistently keep doing it, but just not reaching to a place of, a place where they could control. Everyone wants clean, clear hair.
Yeah.
That's the goal, Trish. Clean, clear hair. And there is a solution. There is help. I got to stress that. There is help. That's why we're here, to educate the general public that help is here.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to walk around with flakes. If you have flakes, there is no reason for you to walk around.
But it seems to be so normal. It seems to be so normal for people to just say, yeah, okay, I've done it, no big deal. I remember growing up, and I don't know if my aunt might be tuning in because I posted it, but she, oh Lord, y'all don't judge me, but she used to ask me to scrape her hair. And for some unknown reason, it was satisfying. It was satisfying to me, and of course to her as well, because she's the one getting her hair scraped. So here it is that I'm going through and I'm just scraping, and I know this is weird, but instead of her washing, we're putting the grease on the top of it to grease her scalp. So I know I'm not the only one, because I've seen even on TikTok where international people who are doing the same thing, they're scraping it out and then they're putting the oils on it or whatever have you. Let's talk about that.
You want to reach the solution. That's the key to it. I mean, you could drive on the wrong side of the road and get where you're going, but that don't mean it's right. So, I mean, whenever you do something, you want to still yet do it right and have a reason for why you're doing it. And again, I can't stress enough. If you do not know, that's why we're here, to educate the general public. We believe in educating. So when persons come to us, Trish, it's not that, okay, we got to do something secret with your hair and you don't know what we're doing. We want you to know what we're doing. We want you to know, even when you leave our presence, what to do, how to carry it on, how to maintain a healthy head of hair. What type of hair do you have? Why? You probably even experiencing the flakes. What about your diet? What about water? Like
We're gonna
Doc
talk
say
about
in terms
that,
of exercise. How long do you keep these hairstyles in? How long do you have a cover up? And so, again, knowledge is power.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about all that because I do want to know about. 1 second. Caller, give me 1 second. I do want to know about the diet and all this other stuff. That's actually my question for you today. But I also want to know, even as far as doing something as simple as scraping the dandruff out, is it okay to do that, or are we just causing or adding more harm to? Would they say fuel to the fire?
So scraping, that's their level of understanding, right? In the eyes of the person who's doing that and who's having it done to them, it's dry. That's why dandruff. That's what they're saying to themselves. So the only way I'm going to get rid of this is to scrape this out and then apply
the oil and grease.
Say it again. Don't say oil. Grease.
The grease.
We're going to take some grease and we can put it on this scalp. Scalp is dry. And that's not always true. Some of that stuff is very oily. So you're just putting more oil on top of your oil, right? So,
That's right.
but that's what we've learned from our culture, right? So
It's time
that's
to
one
fix
thing
that.
we can't neglect is culture, right? Because that's how we're brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your Lane Talk Show. Good afternoon, caller.
Yes, good afternoon. How you doing?
Fine, thank you. How may we
Yeah,
help you today?
great show as it relates to, I like how she was talking about the topical stuff that people put on there, which is obviously, I don't know if she remember, there was some eugenical impositions on those type of products in which they found out that it was really targeting African Americans. I don't know if she remembered that. The toxic chemicals that they were putting in them. But what I wanted to say was, I started to grow locks from the pandemic, right? As a form of expression. But the thing is, I just stopped coming over here, basically. I didn't do anything, like the shakeout and all that, but it grew. It's almost to my shoulders now. And so what I've noticed is some of the things you're saying. So, I have dandruff, but I wash now and then, not too regular. I use the castor oil with some other product that's somewhat, so, there's some natural product, castor oil, I can't, with rosemary or something that's mixed with, right? So I don't do the oil excessively, right? But the thing is, what I've noticed is, massaging the scalp rigorously or vigorously helps with bringing blood flow to the scalp as far as nutrition. Is there any evidence on that? And the weight of the locks themselves, like when I wash it, and it seems to me as if, because firstly, I had mostly the hair would be cut from the sides as I go to the barber. So the sides were thin and the top was more, and so the dreadlocks kind of go from like the top, and it's too big. They separated, but it's like a two big bulks, like, and they pull weight like on the middle of the scalp. The hair is not. I think the castor oil is helping with the thinning it. But what do you recommend? Because you could have a number, you leave a contact where I could find some form of treatment just to keep the locks kind of like flourishing from the roots.
Okay,
I
so
just
here's
like to hang
what's
up and
going to
listen.
happen.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you. I appreciate that. You hang up. We're going to ensure that they leave their contacts for you to reach out, so you can call them tomorrow, God's willing. Those are really good questions. I don't know who wants
Very
to go
good
first.
Well, I guess I'll jump on that
Okay.
in terms of him. He highlighted in terms of certain products. I would say it is called for study in that area. But at the Hair Restoration Clinic, we use all natural products. We use hibiscus, aloe vera, we use peppermint. We try to use as close as organic as possible. And so our staple is natural. And so in terms of, again, that is our platform. Natural. He would be a perfect candidate, a person who don't want the store-bought persons, a person who want to know, hey, I want to be a little bit more certain of what actually goes on my head.
Yeah.
And And so, yes, he would be a perfect candidate. He is a perfect candidate. And in terms of the locks, I guess that's called, I would like to see. Yes, locks do put a major strain. We have a lot of clients who have locks, and it also ties with the skin. Scalp is still skin. And the same way how your face side, your arm side, the scalp on the head, it sags as well. It loosens up. And it causes the hair to kind of be ejected. And so again, that too calls for certain treatments that we also offer. We also offer wet treatments, scalp therapy, detox, and it calls for consultation as it starts.
I love that. So we're going to ensure our caller, thank you for calling. We're going to ensure that you get the necessary information to help to get your hair back in perfect health. So what we're going to do is going to take a quick break. Heavy on the quick, right? And then we're going to go, I want to talk more about the internal issues. I want to talk about what are some things that we can do, what are, as far as our diet is concerned, what are some things that within us, like you have some people with iron deficiency and diabetes and all those other issues, internal issues. We want to know if that is a factor as well, as far as health, as far as hair loss is concerned. So all of that, as well as knowing what are some store-bought products, if possible, because you have some people who be like, I may not be able to, carry on this health thing or whatever. If I could just walk in a pharmacy and just get something, can I just collect something from off the shelf and use it? Is using products, health products like what Fabulous Shawnee may have in her store, or anything of that sort. I remember when I had locks, real quick. I had locks in my early 20s. I would just get aloes. Aloe worked for me. That's the only thing I used. And then as time progressed, the hair was getting very thick. Right? Extremely thick. I used nothing else. I remember somebody's talking about hibiscus, and I was like, who going through that? I ain't going through all that. And I'd rather go pay somebody who already didn't have it done, or whatever have you. But I realized that aloe worked for me. You get it right in the back of the yard, wash your hair, do what you got to do, move on with your life, right? And I used the store-bought oils, though, and I thought that was a problem because it was creating dandruff. I noticed that. So we'll talk about all of that right after this break.
With Lysol, you can disinfect all surfaces inside and outside your home. When used as directed, Lysol eliminates 99.9% of bacteria, fungus, and viruses. Maintain a healthy home by preventing sickness and keeping infections under control. Don't just clean your surfaces, disinfect them. Lysol does more for you and your family. That's our mission for health. Distributed by Thompson Trading Company.
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape, a Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more. There's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Good afternoon. Welcome back, everyone, to Your Lane Talk Show with Coach Trish, Hanna. We have with us fabulous Ronnie, all right, Dr. Sharon Neely and Dr. Marcia Brown, medical doctor, in the house, in studio, talking to us about what's happening with our hair. Okay, what can we do to fix these issues? I ain't got no edges. What I supposed to do, doc? What's going on with me? You know, do you drink water? No, not really. Okay, that's your problem. We're going to talk about that. But before we do that, there was a statement that was shared on Facebook or YouTube. And let me see if I could go through it real quick. Someone said, and I laughed at this. Someone said, the thought was that if you had flakes, you had growing hair. You know what I mean? I thought that was so funny. You know, there's so many different things that we used to learn or thought we knew growing up that our parents taught us. But sometimes, no disrespect, but them things don't make no sense. They don't make that. If you don't wash your hair too often because the dirt causes your hair to grow. I don't know if y'all heard that. What are some other myths that we can debunk today?
Oh, that's definitely a myth.
You know,
that is a
the
myth.
oils, you know, can help if, especially if you put it directly on your scalp. You know, it can help your hair to grow. I recall that suffocating the scalp, not allowing it to cause your hair to grow as often. I don't know. So y'all talk to us about, let's debunk some of these myths before we get into internal issues. What else remember?
I just gone blank. I guess Dr. Matthew
Well,
and Dr. Brown, you want to jump on that? So
I remember my great grandmother. She would always say, if you leave your hair out, the wind is gonna take your hair.
Oh.
And I remember saying that to Ronnie, and Ronnie said, that's true, you know. That's why they have protective styles. So it really wasn't a myth. It was, she agreed.
What? That
She
you
agreed.
don't leave your hair out often, you just use the protective styles?
Yeah.
And that's
you know,
true.
Like, yeah. It's like, you know, if you have like a ponytail, instead of
Right.
just leaving that lower portion out, plait it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that is truth. Okay. So we have some truth and some
There's
myths.
some truth, yeah.
I guess another myth would be that stress do not cause hair loss. That is the lie, a lie,
Yeah,
a
we
lie,
know
a
the
lie.
stress causes hair loss. Definitely. Yes. Come on.
But you have a lot of persons who are in denial. They're experiencing, I guess, chronic stress or just any level of stress and just feel like, no, I mean, that's not the reason for my hair loss. Stress plays a very big role with
Hair loss.
hair loss.
All right. So, Dr. Marcia, from a medical standpoint, what are the most common internal causes of hair loss? I know this is a women's show. We have men listening, so let's deal with women specifically, and then we could, talk about it generally.
I think we just need to, we can separate it in some things, but men and women can have the same conditions. Some of them, high blood pressure, diabetes, and we don't give men one kind of medication for hypertension, and women are different. So some of, it's just a part of the disease. Okay, so we know that some of the medicines that we give for hypertension or high blood pressure can cause hair loss. We also know just having high blood pressure can cause it. We know diabetes, any of the chronic illnesses that we have, being anemic, not having enough iron, not having vitamins on board, supplements, or eating a diet rich in minerals and vitamins can also cause hair loss. Eating ultra processed foods can cause hair loss because they have no nutrients in them. So if you have a diet rich in, ultra processed foods, you ain't getting nothing. Everything has been stripped from it. So that can also, you're malnourished. So that can cause it as well. And then hormonal issues as well can cause it. Genetics, can also cause hair loss. These are internal issues. Yeah. So they're, stress, like we just said, just not taking care of our scalp, not washing it enough, and then, like you said, adding heavy oils to the scalp, suffocating the follicles. All of those things can cause.
All right, so
cause
let's talk
hair
about
loss.
how the conditions like iron deficiency and anemia show up through hair loss. How does that impact,
Well,
the hair follicles?
if you're talking about anemia in particular, iron is used in what we call hemoglobin, the thing that carries oxygen throughout the body. And so if you're deficient in that, you're not going to get oxygen. Oxygen is life. So if you're not getting that oxygen where it needs to go, there's a process of death that's occurring.
So what
And so
about
that's going to affect your hair follicles and everywhere else. Right? So oxygen, iron, these things are very important to the body.
Has a question from a texter. Is the wind hair loss true across the board, or is it true mostly for black Afro hair?
I believe it can apply to everybody. I went to school in Canada. I did my undergraduate in Canada, and they always wore hats on their head, and because the wind was very howling. You know what I mean? It was real. So I think it can apply to anybody, any race.
Well, let's talk about the medications, because you named off so many different ailments, right? So obviously the medications that deal with these ailments may have an impact on that as well. What are some of the medications that can contribute to hair loss that people may not be aware of?
Well, we talked about high blood pressure. So the high blood pressure medications, we know for sure, can cause some sort of hair loss. All of them.
You're saying every medication for someone who has an ailment causes hair loss?
It can. It doesn't necessarily have to. It doesn't apply to everybody. Yeah, but yeah.
It has the potential.
Yes, it does.
This is a silly question, but did you know that, Dr. Sharon?
Of course.
Yeah. I've been under the rock. I mean, just regular medication can contribute to hair loss. I mean, you cause people not to want to take that medication, doc. We got to get it together. Of course, you have to take a medication. But what can we do then? Because you want to be able to take your medication because you want to remain healthy, but you also want healthy hair. So how can we balance that?
Do you really want to know?
I really want to know.
Well, we can do as much as we can to not be at risk for high blood pressure and for diabetes and those sorts of things. We can do as much as we can. For example, we can try to stay away from ultra processed foods, like, I just said before, because they have no nutrients. Yeah. They're not feeding your body in any way. Okay, it may taste good, may satisfy your appetite for then, but you're not getting anything from that. So you want to eat a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, because that's where all of your minerals are. Okay? Yeah.
So when should hair loss be considered a warning sign of a deeper health issue? At what point can someone know, you know what, this ain't normal?
If you're experiencing hair loss, you need to go and see a doctor. There's only one way to know what's going on. You need to be.
Could it be probably because I'm not wearing my silk cap or have my silk pillowcase, or could it be that this particular shampoo that I use may have been too harsh on my hair and I just see a bunch of hair coming out the comb. Could it be that I'm just need more water? I'm probably dehydrated. I'm just using little things here so
Good.
people can actually get their minds going and flowing from people who may be going through this.
Good. So if you're experiencing any condition in your body, right, you need to go and see your doctor. Anything. And I feel so tired. I don't know why I feel so tired. So I'm going to go and drink a bunch of Malta, or I'm going to go and drink a bunch of soda, because these are things that's supposed to give me, energy, right? Okay, and after you do that and you're still feeling tired, then what? You still got to go see your doctor so that you can go and get some blood tests done.
That's something.
Go and get your blood test
Get
done.
your annual.
Yeah, go get your annual. See what's going on. And if everything else is fine, then you can come to the conclusion maybe I'm not wearing my silk bonnet at night. But don't assume it's your silk bonnet and your iron is all the way.
So here's this, someone just posted on Facebook, I put my natural hair in a bun every day, 365 days, but I now have a bald spot to the back of my hair. I can't do much with it now because of the bald spot, but I was thinking about getting it weaved in a ponytail or a bob. What would you recommend? Would you recommend this? And I'll ask this one to Dr. Ronnie.
I would definitely not recommend it because it's still an excessive. He or she is doing the exact same thing, like she say or he say, 365 days a ponytail, and now you want to put a sew-in as a ponytail? No.
So it sounds just like what Coach Trish said, almost at the beginning of the show. You go, you put your hair back for 365 days of the year, and now you have a bald spot, and then now you want to cover it with something that's going to cause it to get worse. So.
All right, come. We gotta. Y'all sound like y'all sleeping, man. This ain't you, Doc. This ain't you. You lively. Let's go.
I am listening.
Let's go.
I am
No,
with
I want
you.
put. No.
I am listening. I am with you. I am here.
Let's talk about then. We already spoke about myths, right? Let's talk about oils and products, right? Can oils and products actually grow hair, right? Or is it a misconception? Certain oils, certain products can grow hair, or is there something that hair is just naturally going to grow no matter what?
Okay, Trish, I know we've been jumping on oils a lot, and I don't want to bash oils.
Right.
Oils play a very vital role in hair care. And so for oils, as long as anything is used properly, then yes. As long as it is used properly, then yes. Again, I highly encourage persons whenever they do ask that question about oils, I would advise to use it primarily on the ends versus the root.
There you go.
Because we naturally have natural oils, which is called the sebum, the natural oils of the hair. And so if we have, some persons have excessive, like I said earlier, so you don't want, if you have excessive oil, to add oil on top of oil.
On top of it.
And so if you're using oil, if oil is your friend, if oil is your go-to, try using it at the end of the hair, or anywhere from the middle, go straight down, but not the ends.
Not the root.
Not the root.
Not the root.
Yeah, not the roots.
Okay.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
that is.
intercepting that one. Not the roots. The ends. But oil is a big. Listen to me. Oil is not the remedy for everything. Oil is good. I'm a big fan of oil. But again, once it's used properly.
Once it's used properly,
Yeah.
because there's so many different products out there. So many different natural.
A lot of natural
products there, and in most cases we hear put it on the scalp. We
Yeah,
hear that.
That's
we
a
hear
part.
it a lot.
That's a part of our culture. We grow up putting oil on the scalp. For now, Ronnie to come and tell you, don't put in it. That's confusing because
Yeah.
we used to putting that on the scalp.
But now she's saying, look, we already have our oil. Our hair already produced the oil that is needed.
Now she's educating.
And she's educating. So now our eyes can be open to say,
Yes.
nope, don't put it there. Just put it to the edges. Put it to the, so that's awesome. What about oils then? Watch me pull. I pull in.
You pull
What
in,
about
Trish.
oils that they say claim to help grow the hair? So clearly, if you ain't got no hair, or you ain't got no edges at the front, you got to use that oil to put it there, right? So what about people with alopecia, where you actually get the product and it has to go on the scalp in order, according to them, in order for the hair to grow?
To use in moderation. Again, like I said, with the scalp being obviously a part of the skin structure,
Yeah.
it loosens. And so oil typically lubricates. It causes the exit point of where the hair will come exit out of the scalp,
Yeah.
out of the head. It loosens. The skin loosens. And so again, you would want that firm, tight grip. You'd want hair stay there. You wouldn't want to compromise the hair at any given point in time. And so oils is not the remedy. Oil is not the remedy for everything. And if, like you said, the person have alopecia and they do not have hair, they have other things that you could put on the hair where the hair still could breathe and you still could nourish the hair.
So tell us, Doc.
Like, for example, I'll
Yes.
throw, of course, natural is my platform,
Yeah.
aloe vera. Oh.
Yeah, that's my girl.
So if there is no hair on the scalp, there's no need for oil, because oil is, like you're saying,
Yeah.
to coat the hair to stop it from breaking. So if there is no hair, you don't need to use the
Oil.
Earl.
True?
Earl, like
So, because you have some men who use the oil, who use Earl too, right? So, but their head is bald, and they use the oil just to keep it nice and shiny. But you said moderation, so it's not like you can't use it at all. It's just using it in moderation.
Yes,
I
in
love
moderation
that.
is-
All right, and so now, at what point then, for someone that may have experienced, I wouldn't say issues, but just like, don't be walking around with a full head of hair, always healthy 100% of the time, right? There may be some times where it's shedding because, going through menopause, right? Do you necessarily have to go to the doctor because you're going through menopause and you see some type of shedding? Are there some things that you can do at home?
Excellent question. This is why we're here. Myself along with Dr. Brown, our goal is to bring you to recovery. So we have persons, of course, beyond my scope of work, hence why I'm connecting with her and she's connecting with me. If you are perimenopausal, postmenopausal, or even flush in the middle of menopause, you'd want to bring full control. There's a lot of things you could do to stop that shedding. There's a lot of things you could do to stop your hair from falling out. And so to know exactly internal medicine with Dr. Brown, she then would, and I'm sure she'll go into more details of what she could do to help you understand what you need to do, to help you understand what it is that you need to do based on what she just said. Again, your diet, stress level, exercise. And again, even with the underlying issues, imagine going through menopause and you still taking the medicine and dealing with the conditions that she just made a mention of. You'd want to make sure bring recovery. You would want to make sure bring control to a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
You sitting there thinking, this could fix itself tomorrow. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself.
Yeah, a lot of women think that. I mean, menopause is a natural part of life, and I'm gonna be done with it. Okay.
So they just leave it alone.
So they just leave it alone, thinking it's going to get better, and it never does. You never go back to that full, lush head of hair because you never get those hormones back.
No. I want to go back to women issues. Let's talk about thyroid issues.
Men experience it too.
Yeah, yeah. But let's focus. I know I invite the man to come in, right? This is a women's show. I invite the women to come in, so let's just talk.
Please invite them to come in because
yeah.
Man, I thought, when I went to Ronnie, I thought, okay, this is gonna be a woman thing. The man right in there.
And they listening and they tuning in. I get stuff all the time.
So give them their love.
Let's give them their love.
Them their love.
I ain't gonna lie. All right, let's go. Let's talk about how thyroid issues impact the hair.
All right.
I'm just listing some things that I know for a fact when I had my last doctor here, some things that are most common to us as Bahamians.
Thyroid is common. Having thyroid issues is common in the Bahamas. If your thyroid is too high, or if the hormone is too high or the hormone is too low, it will affect those follicles. So we have to balance it out. We have to balance it. And there is medication to balance it. Yeah.
Okay.
But also, once again, Stress can cause thyroid issues, lack of sleep, poor nutrition.
So what you're telling me, Doc, is, man, in order for you to prevent, because we when we talk about hair, we're talking about the end product of something. So everything in order to prevent the hair loss starts with knowing how to live your life.
Starts with you.
Right, knowing how to live your life.
Starts with you. You.
Right.
You.
No, I'm not gonna
No, I backing up on that.
No, it's not
Backing
true.
her up
But
on
what
that.
I'm trying to say is knowing how to get your life, having control of the things that you eat, the things that you do, etc. It's like to prevent those things from occurring. You want to start from, hey, let me start to be more concerned about or cognizant about what I eat, what I put in, what I ingest rather, and also, how to take care of myself holistically, right? And taking care of yourself holistically is mental health, right? It's heavy on the mental health. Mental health, being able to know when to rest, when you know for a fact, and I'm just saying this randomly out there, when you know certain things you don't need to carry. Certain burdens ain't yours. You leave that alone. You mind your business with certain things, and you focus on what at hand. You stay in your lane, as we were earlier today. So it's basically just knowing how to take care of your temple before you even get to all of this and talking about hair loss.
So if that is the case, I'm going to ask a question. What constitutes man? What makes up a human? You talked about it. You said it at the very beginning of your show. I listened to you very intently. You talked about spirit.
Soul and body.
That's what makes up a human being. The spirit, the soul, and the body. And so if we are made up of these things, then we have to take care of each one of those things to be as healthy as we can.
Absolutely.
So we were talking about malnourishment of the body. What about a malnourishment of the soul?
Come on.
Or malnourishment of the spirit? Are we taking care of everything? Or are we not taking care of everything?
Talk.
But if we don't know what constitutes a man, then what we doing?
Talk.
I can't only feed the body, all the organic stuff. But my soul is hungry. Or my spirit is malnourished. It's still gonna occur. Issues, illnesses will still occur in my body. In my man, in the constitution of what makes a human.
I like Selah moments.
So, let's go.
I love that.
We are here to empower. We are here to educate. So, it ain't only the food. It ain't only the food we're dealing with. We know that. Because we could be eating the richest diet, but we still have issues in our life that causes the stress. That causes the... Yeah.
Truth. Truth stuck on that one. Truth.
Take the two mics off.
So we gotta come to some resolution about not only what we eat, but like you say, what we take on.
Yes.
What we take on.
Yeah, what are you taking on?
What we taking on?
Come on
What we
now.
taking on? The Bible says, guard your heart,
With all diligence.
because out of it flows
The issues of life.
the issues of life.
Hey!
I like that.
I love that.
I
That's
support
for
that
that's for
message.
all of us today. That's for all of us, all right? That is so powerful.
And then it goes on to say, beloved, I wish above all things
that you prosper.
and be in good health,
Even as your soul prospers.
What is your soul? What is,
Come
what
on.
is your soul?
Come
what is
on.
Your soul? What is your soul?
Mind, will,
What is your
emotions,
soul?
intellect.
What is your soul?
I love it. Doc, I love it. We had to put that in there. We had to do a praise break. A praise break. just for someone tuning in to know that, hey, yes, I've been doing all that I can, and then you stressing out of the fact that your hair is shedding. You're stressing on top of it, right? We needed that. We needed that, Doc. So let me ask you, Dr. Ronnie, what are some practices, some healthy practices that women or men can do to ensure that their hair remains healthy? Daily practices, rather.
Daily practices create a healthy hair routine. What is your hair routine? How do you wear your hair on a consistent basis? May it be man, woman, child. What do you eat? Of course, that is the start. What do you drink? Water, enough water. Exercise. And everything that we basically say, and we will consistently reiterate that over and over and over. For day to day, is not only just like what I just said, only, okay, what am I going to ponytail? Am I going to ponytail? Am I going to braid? But it's just you being conscious of body, mind, and soul, like Dr. Brown says. Okay, am I going to take on stress? Am I going to get angry because the car passed me and almost hit me and didn't hit me, and then I
Road
get
rage.
fussed? Yeah, because I'm going to be late for work and I get 5 other things.
High blood
It's
pressure.
right there. I mean, you say day to day, right, Trish?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, like you say, woosah. Come on. So that, again, be cognizant of your day-to-day movements, what it is you put in, how you going to, what you do on the external part of your, it's a day-to-day consciousness. It's a day-to-day consciousness.
Not that. So let's do those are the practical. So what about some things like, for instance, wrapping your hair? I know when I used to relax my hair back in the days, I used to think that, hey, I'm not just gonna leave my hair out. It ain't in the wind per se, but it ain't. And I ain't gonna just sleep like that. I have to wrap it. This is what I used to do.
Yeah.
I had to wrap it and then put my little silk cap on and my little bonnet and all these different things. What are some things that we can do, go into bed, etc.?
And I'm glad you just nudged me on that one. Of course, tying your hair down every night, of course, but
Natural hair.
yeah, naturally, all
And
relaxed.
relaxed.
Of course, no matter what, tying your hair down before you go to bed. Washing your hair on a regular basis is a big deal. If you do wear a unit, which is a wig, and we have a lot of persons who
Take it
wear
off.
the wig, take it off. But too, I want to make sure, put a caution. A lot of times too, Trish, at the hair restoration clinic, I noticed when a woman takes off a wig, she does not have a protective covering under it, which would be like that stocking cap.
Yeah.
And if they do, I would ask, how often do you change that stocking cap? And they would say, probably like when I got the hair last month. I don't know how raw I could be on the show, but I would
Raw, please.
I would say the same. You treat that stocking cap like how you would change your panty, and so the same way the hair discharge. The hair is just like the hair discharge, and so every day hair with discharge sebum, and so imagine you have on the same panty Monday, the same panty Tuesday, the same panty. So why do you think sometimes you stand in the back of someone and they have like a
smell.
slight stench?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So it's important, ladies. It's important for you to change that covering if you do wear a unit every day. And I give reason on why. Of course, because your head, it discharges sebum every day. Anything that discharge, you want to make certain clean and always keep in a healthy environment.
Okay, so let me tell on myself, right? No, I do not change the not every day, but I have a lot of them because I use them often. So obviously it's not every day. So Lord, thank you, Jesus, for delivering me.
Every day.
I'm gonna change it every day.
Let me bungee jump on this.
Yeah.
Let me allow me to
And
bungee
then, hold on.
jump.
I talk about the stocking cap now, so don't get this mixed up with
Allow
nothing
me
else.
to bungee jump. You tell me wake up. You say wake up, Ronnie. Where you been?
Let's go. I love it.
And so I'm not even going to put you in expense. You could wash it. It's okay to wash it. But you could wash it, but it doesn't necessarily means it have to be new. But it have just like how you treat a panty.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure, because when I tell a client's panty, their eyebrows go up like, what? But
I love that analogy.
You change it every day. And that's right there is a style, a proper style and practice like you asked. What could we do on a day-to-day basis? Let's start right there if you do wear a unit. That's right.
I love that. Can we also talk about hygiene as far as like your comb and brushes? Let's talk about that.
And even in terms of, I would love to network with stylists, cosmetologists, braiders. I would love, let me stress this, and I guess I talk slow. When I talk fast, I feel like I just go ahead of myself sometimes.
Take your time.
Knowledge is power. I don't believe in gatekeeping. And so the knowledge that I obtain, I would love, to share it. I do workshops, and I love for persons to reach out. I guess at the end of the show, we'll, say the number. If you want to, improve and advance, help us here. No gatekeeping going on. It's this whole lot. And I said that based on what you said in regards to the comb. You'll go to a braiding shop, and I'm very observant. You'll see a stylist pick up that same one comb, and she'll go through. And I need y'all to know, if y'all see a client, a stylist, a braider use that same one comb that she used on Tom, Dick, Harry, and Joe, RUN, one word, 3 letters, run.
Run.
Hello? Run. That is wrong. That is wrong. And do not let anyone do that to you. And, clients, they sit in a chair with the highest level of trust. They trust us. And so let's do right by them. Let's do right by them and sanitize these combs and these tools that we use on a day-to-day basis. And you don't want to share. You wouldn't want to do it to you.
No.
That's like you're using someone's toothbrush. It's no different. It's no difference.
I like your analogy. It's not. They wake up. They wake up.
She bringing it home. She bringing it
so
home.
let me ask. We have a few posters here on YouTube and Facebook. The question is: can wearing a hat or hair cover frequently break out hair or cause hair loss?
The word is frequently. That's the same again. Consistently, frequently. Like I know for sure there are studies, and that's not the first time I was asked that question. And even in studies, that was a question that was presented as well. The cap. Let's look at the cap. Like what was taught, it applies pressure on the same exact area, and so if you leave a cow on the grass too long, what has happened to the grass?
Yeah,
it dies.
it dies.
And the same applies even to the head. And so I think that's why, if I'm not mistaken, I don't quote me on this. I think even in the Royal Bahamas, I think they have a study now where they wear the caps. Anyway, I'll put a pin there because I'm not too certain. I don't want to say something I'm not too sure of. But consistent. The word is the consistent, just doing something over and over and over again.
All right. So my question. Let's ask some more questions here from the audience. Another question is bleaching. Is bleaching stripping the hair, but is it possible? Bleaching is stripping the hair, but is it possible to have healthy hair although you're bleaching?
Yeah, you can have healthy hair if your hair is bleached. Yes, you can obtain a healthy head of hair. That's a chemical service, sure, especially if the technician, the stylist, or cosmetologist knows, what it is that he or she is doing. And again, in moderation, if you already had your hair bleached a certain time, there's a certain time frame that you'd want to, adhere to. And so that's important as well. But imagine bleaching it Monday and then next week you want to bleach it again next week Monday. Too much.
No, that's way too much.
But yes, you can.
Another question here on Facebook says, is there a pH scalp test to determine the condition of your scalp, which can then help with the treatment plan?
Yes,
I love that question.
Yes, of course.
Is that at your
Yes,
clinic?
we do.
Ooh,
Yes,
come
we
on.
do.
All right. We can talk about that. Okay, here's another question from Facebook. What style would you suggest to give the hair an opportunity to grow hair? I don't like to see my short, natural hair out.
I gotta understand it too much. In terms of you asking what hairstyle,
What style would you suggest to give
I
the
guess that
hair
comes
an
with
opportunity?
visual. That comes with visual. So for me to say, that's like you telling me close my eyes and just say, okay, what style to put on you. That comes with visual. That one comes with visual. As long as I see the client, then of course, then I would make a suggestion.
And once in a while, you put your little big cap on, eh? That way you...
You in this big cap.
Let me be quiet so I can run
You in
out
this
of the
big cap.
studio from
Yes,
Dr. Ronnie.
We do.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Sometimes you give your hair a break.
And we do offer wig. We do offer aesthetics. Yes,
Yeah.
we do cater to alopecia units. We do have alopecia units. We do have, yes, we do. So I don't have a problem. Let me make sure that I'm not biased towards cap. I myself I'm in the beauty industry, and
Once in a
so
while.
I do, turn it up a bit at times. Whenever that
My
happens
goodness.
with the units. Yes.
Okay, there was a question I had. Yes, so you have some people now. I'm a heavy person when it comes to big follow TikTok. That's because I put my work there, my content there. And then, of course, as you scrolling through in the nights, you get to see some things. I see where there are a lot of people that are going to get hair transplants, right? Lots of people. They go places like Turkey, etc., to go and get those things done. Now, my question to you, first of all, let me just ask Doc, are there any medical risks in doing that? Say you're going to go get your hair transplant or whatever have
Any
you.
procedure carries risks.
Yeah.
Any procedure. Yeah.
Okay. And then my other question, I thought you were going to elaborate. Sorry.
No.
All right. That's straight to the point.
It carries its risks, right?
Right,
I mean,
right.
you
So
may
what are
go
some things
there.
that you
You
should-
may go
Yeah.
there to transplant here, and you may get a scar. You could, and that could just botch everything. They're just like any other surgery. Yeah.
Like for instance, someone who may have
You go and get a hair transplant.
who
What
may
about you
have
get
an-
an infection?
right. Okay.
That's not a good thing.
So I mean,
you know,
so when
that's-
you're counting the cost to say if I should go or shouldn't, and I have a health risk, that's what I'm referring to.
If you're going to get those things, whomever is going to be doing that procedure, you need to know what the risks are. You need to know. And then you need to come and make the decision, is the benefit going to outweigh the risk?
I got you. Doc, now my question for you is, what are some things, should you have already calculated the cost, counted the cost, and
That's
you
it.
say, okay, we good,
That's it.
right? What are some procedures or things that should be done prior to going to get your hair, a hair transplant?
Oh, I love that question. I just want to piggyback too before I answer your question
Go
on
ahead.
what Dr. Brown said. And to it also relates to what you're asking, because I also go, I have traveled with a few of my patients to have hair transplants done, and I witnessed it. I was in the room with them, and it is very much tedious. I have not performed it. It's not me. Let me make sure, put that disclaimer out there.
Yeah.
I just accompany them, just to give wise counsel, to understand what it is that is being said. But before you do go, if you do decide on going, I do have now even patients clients who is in preparation on going soon,
Right.
hopefully this year. And before they go, they got a few have scalp issues. Imagine going to get a hair transplant and you have an excessive amount of, like, you have seborrheic dermatitis or you have some kind of scalp issue. You'd want to at least bring it to control. You'd want to, again, train yourself to basically eat properly. You'd want to make sure control even yet. Not when I say the word control, let me slow down. You would want to make certain that everything that we spoke about is in a line. Diet, exercise, food. Just have a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that you have done the research of whomever is going to be doing
That is
that hair
imperative. Yes,
transplant.
that's definitely yes.
Make sure that it is a reputable, place, doctor, all of that, because we have heard of things that happen.
Our stories.
Yeah.
That's it. So you just in preparation, making sure you have proper-
Of course. And I would say definitely I would highlight, come and get an assessment or a consultation so we could then customize a constructive plan moving forward on what you need to do. Then it'll be tailored specifically to you rather than just a general, generic answer.
Absolutely.
And so if you are thinking of having it done, or even if you already had it done, I think you need to call 3640517.
Yes.
I think that's a good time to put that in.
Yes, we're gonna talk about that right now. I looking at the time. We got literally 5 minutes. So in closing, let me ask Dr. Marcia, if you could give one key piece of advice to women dealing with hair loss right now, what would it be?
Come and see us immediately.
I love that.
Straight
Not-
to the point.
Straight to the point.
I love how she talks. She don't run out. She just say what she needs to say,
because
and that's it.
I have found that the more you talk, the more you give
lose the
room.
information.
Thank you. People get caught up in, but you said, no, I said, come
Direct.
see us.
I love her.
Prevention is better than cure. I love
An
that.
ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure, because the longer you wait, it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. So just come.
Doc, before I ask you this question, there's a question on here that says, what is the best hair care for swimmers, salt and chlorine? Summer fun. I love that question.
Beautiful
Go ahead.
question. Of course, you'd want to put on your proper head gear. You don't want to go in the water, may it be pool, may it be the ocean, and you'd want to make certain that the head is covered properly. And they have a whole lot of new materials out now for the water. It isn't like the old school days, whereas at some point the water still seep into the hair.
Yeah.
And if you do, but of course, when it's time to take it off, we also have a co-wash. You have like the Rose. What is an excellent co-wash? The company like just conditioner, the hair restoration conditioner, and so I'd say rinse. Obviously, rinse. You cannot go wrong with rinse, and you don't necessarily always have to wash.
Right.
Of course, to strip the hair so much, but just rinse.
After you already come from the pool, you didn't come from the sea, you just rinse your hair
You
out
want to just rinse it. I'd say yes.
and use a little conditioner somewhere.
That's why I said just the conditioner. I wouldn't necessarily always say if
Shampoo
you
all the
shampoo,
time.
because my daughter, she swims as well, and I would not suggest shampooing every day. No. Hence why I said, again, rinse. Just take a mild conditioner. We have a beautiful conditioner. It's called the Fabulous Ronnie Hair Restoration Conditioner, of course.
ma'am.
I would suggest you get that, and that goes a long way. Just a little goes a long way. You apply it to the hair, you rinse, and you're good to go.
So what key piece of advice do you think you would want to give to women and men dealing with hair loss at this moment?
Like I said, prevention is better than cure. Prevention is better than cure. There are so much things out there now that you could just, like you said, Trish, just sit down in the night and scroll. Find help. Help is here.
Help is here.
Help is here. So it is no reason for you to sit and feel like I'm alone and only me one in the world suffering with this condition, or only me one in the world. Help is here.
Now I want to get into this collaboration, because obviously if you're having an issue, you go and see the doctor, your general practitioner, and if the general practitioner says, okay, it seems as if I've already internally, but there's some external things that you need to do, she can then refer the individual to a trichologist, who's an excellent one, by the way, Dr. Ronnie, Fabulous Ronnie. And so let's talk about this, the fact that y'all can actually collaborate, because I wish we have more of that in this country, where you can actually refer someone, sound people, reputable people, to each other, so that y'all can collaborate and ensure that there's a holistic being, instead of just adding, like you said earlier, Band-Aids to a problem, and all that is doing is just covering the wound, but the wound is still damaged or infected. So let's talk about your collaboration.
This is definitely a power couple, I must say.
I can see that.
I highly respect Dr. Brown. I highly respect that she respects the lane, and I make sure stress lane, cough, Trish, that I'm in.
Stay in your lane, honey.
Yeah, I respect that, and I think that right there is a stern foundation.
Yeah.
I don't cross her, and she doesn't try to even venture into, because of course, Dr. Brown, in her respective place, she is a very knowledgeable, educated woman, but the truth of it is, Dr. Browning could shampoo your hair. Dr. Browning could go through your hair. You see how passionate. No. And even after, she do exactly what she's trained to do, then she relays and pass it to me. And I know exactly what my job is. I'm not going to try to diagnose pressure, sugar, diabetes. That's not my lane.
Yeah.
And so the main purpose is both of us collaborating, getting the client. The client is our main focus. We want to get the client to recovery. We want to get the client help.
That's the end result.
Yeah, that's the end result.
Yeah.
And so this collaboration is, this is amazing, because both of us, we are passionate for helping people.
Mm-hmm.
That is the ultimate goal. We believe that it's a part of ministry, not only just, it's her profession and my profession, it's ministry in this as well.
Yeah. So let's
because we've come to realize that, we're talking about hair, and for some people that's very superficial. And in talking with each other, we realize people come in desperate. They come in emotionally drained from not having the head of hair that they had or desire to have.
Yeah.
You know, I was asking her the other day, you know, so when they come in and she says, I said, "What, you know, what's going on with them?" She's like, "Do you realize that some of my clients, they come in and their husband or their significant other doesn't even know how their head looks. They go to bed at night.
Wrap it up.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So here you have and she was telling me she had a client like husband of 10 years, not one day. He's
Seeing
seen
her
her. I
scalp,
was like, what
real
kind
hair.
of intimacy is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
He don't know her at all. They might as well just be roommates, you know? So she's and so I'm hearing the same thing from her that I'm experiencing with my patients. I'm like, yeah, but I'm kind of like hearing the same problem, and that's a problem, you know? So it really is ministry, and we are passionate about helping.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. We're here to help.
So I know throughout the show we were talking about certain things like different shampoos, different leave-in conditioners, etc. I want you to talk about some of your products that you know for a fact Bahamians need to get on board. Not because you did it, you know, but because you've seen it work. Because once again, I think this is your third time here with me. I've heard the testimonies, I've read the inputs from people who said your products work. But because of the natural things that you use within the product, and you thoroughly believe in using holistic, natural, organic things. So let's talk about a few that you think, especially when it comes to hair loss, especially when it comes to certain types of alopecia, because we understand that there are some that may not be reversible, that people can come to you for and to experience healthier hair.
Well, Trish, the platform of, I guess, the formulation aspect of what it is that I provide. I grew up in Andros. I grew up grassroots with my mother in Low Sound. I love to big up Low Sound, LA. And I grew up with, you know, my Grammy, the minute you have a bump or something on your head, she grab you and slap you down in some pawn bush. And so what I tend to do, Trish, I started to the day-to-day, and I started to incorporate the natural herbs that I have accessible to. And I realized this started a long time ago, and I said, oh, this is actually going somewhere. And so for persons who are experiencing, like we talk a whole lot today on the show about scalp issues, I have a product, it's called Pawn Bush Tonic. It's Pawn Bush. The success rate of that is drastically high. It's all natural. And then I also have a product, it's called Dandruff Eraser, that accompanies the Pawn Bush. I also have rose water. You know, rose water go way back to Queen Cleopatra time when they soak her in just petals of roses, rose petals. And these things, again, this is just not, 2026 findings. These have been around for a long time. And again, I just brought it back to, our day and time where we want to use, like I said, the real organic, grassroots. Let me grab the hibiscus and coconut milk. The original stuff. So that is my brand. My brand again is natural. My brand is, especially with the formulation, using all natural products.
Yeah.
And so I have, for persons who would want to do it at home in the privacy of their own home, I have a restoration kit, which consists of restoration shampoo, conditioner, moisturizer, growth oil, and it is very much affordable, whereas even if you don't feel comfortable, because it is a sensitive situation. When you see a woman take off her unit, her wig, her hat, or what's not, Trish is just like she take off all her clothes before you. A woman would rather take off her clothes than take off a wig sometimes. She'd say, you know what, if I have to gamble, let me take off my clothes and I can leave my wig on. That's how sensitive it is. And so we understand how sensitive it is. We understand, let me stress, how sensitive it is. And so what it is that we put into these products, it is dedicated, of course, to bringing results.
I love that. So now let's share where they can connect with you, just for further information. I love the fact that you have privacy areas. So even if you're suffering from something and you may be ashamed of the way that your scalp look or your hair look in any way possible, you have areas where they can just be raw and real and natural and it's only you and them as far as the consultation is concerned.
I'm glad you stressed that everything in there is private. If you come in and no one even know you and them, And so everything is private. Like I said, we are very sensitive to your condition. We're sensitive to the hair loss. And so privacy is paramount.
So where can they find you?
We have 2 locations. And Dr. Brown would then also say her location as well. But we're located Faith Avenue North. And we're also located in Palmdale in the Wong's Plaza. Everyone knows where McDonald's is, and we're across the street from McDonald's in the Wong's Plaza at the bottom level, door number 5.
I love that. And where can we find you, Dr. Marcia?
I'm at the Wellbeing Clinic, which is located 24 Gladstone Road. That's opposite Loyola Hall. You'll see the sign and everything there. But also, what I wanted to say is that we are complementary. There are things that will not respond to the natural, that we also have, pharmaceutical grade products as well. Okay, so but we are complementary, and our goal is to get you to where you want to be.
Can you all share your numbers, please?
Sure.
Okay, our phone contact, the Hair Restoration Clinic, our number is 341-HAIR, 341-4247, or 525 or 364-0517. I just got blank
That's
just a
okay.
while ago. 341-HAIR, which is 4247, or 364-0517. You could also find us on Facebook under Fabulous Ronnie Hair Restoration Clinic, or on Instagram, Fab Ronnie 242 on Instagram. We're also on TikTok as well. I'm sure you'd want to see a lot of our TikTok.
I've seen them. I've seen them.
We bring results.
I love it.
Bring results, Trish.
What I love about when I do have you here, the amount of people that testify about your products and who you are as a person. I absolutely love that. Dr. Marcia, how can they get your contacts?
All right, so my number is 341-7754. That's at the Wellbeing Center. And then we also have 427 that's 427-9355. It can also be found on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those as well.
427-9355
Yes.
or 427 right?
Yes,
All right.
correct.
So we've been having this conversation about hair loss and even procedures like hair transplants. I want to pause right here for a moment, just a moment, because yes, we believe in taking care of ourselves. Yes, we believe in stewardship over our bodies. But the Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 6, verse 19 to 20, that our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit, and we are to honor God with our bodies. So it's not wrong to seek answers. We should always do that. It's not wrong to want to restore. It's not wrong to take care of what God has given us. But here's the balance. Your hair is not your identity. I have to emphasize that. Your beauty, your value, your worth, it is not in your edges. It is not in your length. It is not in your style. The word also reminds us in 1 Samuel 16:7 that the man looks at the outer appearance, but God looks at the heart. All right. So, and I believe that it's important for someone listening right now, because you may be experiencing hair loss, and it's affecting your confidence, maybe even how you see yourself. But I want to remind you today, you are still beautiful. You're still valuable. You are still whole. So yes, take care of your body. Yes, do what you need to do in wisdom. But don't ever allow what's happening externally to redefine who you are internally. Because your identity is rooted in Christ and not your crown. I had to share that. All right.
pretty.
This is episode 167, Hair Loss. What your body might be trying to tell you. I'm Coach Trish Hanna. I had with me Dr. Sharon Neely, a.k.a. Fabulous Ronnie, and Dr. Matthew Brown with us in studio. Your Lane, episode 167 is brought to you by Your Lane Life Coaching. Go to www.yourlanelifecoaching.com for your life and relationship coaching. John Shoe Store and Accessories, Tropical Gyros, Lysol, distributed by Thompson Trading, Del Monte, distributed by Thompson Trading, the Children's Dream Journal, available at All Seasons Book and Gift Center and on Amazon, and then 242 Media Connect. I want to thank you, Dr. Marcia Brown. I want to thank you, Dr. Sharon Neely, for being a part of Your Lane Talk Show, for educating the people. I'm reading these posts. They're saying this is such a marvelous show. It's very educational, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, this show could not have been possible without wonderful guests like yourself, professional guests like yourself. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I want to read this real quick before we leave. It says, wow, this show is so educational. We need to hear more about taking care of the whole man. Working together definitely works. Thank you so much. And someone says, love the reminder your identity is rooted in Christ and not your crown. All right. Whoop, whoop. Excellent discussion, sis. Yes. Blessings to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being a part of Your Lane. Next week's show is called What Must I Do to Be Saved? We ain't doing the fluff. We ain't into all the fluff stuff and all the works. No, we going straight to the point. We going straight to the Word of God. We have with us Pastor Kevin L.A. Ewing from Freeport, Grand Bahama, talking to us about what it means to be saved. You want to go ahead and tune in next week, same time, 3:30 p.m. on Guardian Talk Radio. Thank you to my producer, Chris, for holding it down. Thank you to all my new listeners and those who have just always been supportive. You've been marvelous, and thank you. I pray that you were all empowered, educated, and encouraged today to stay in your lane. Until next time, God bless you. Happy Sunday.
Peace.
Bye-bye.